Fuck up. It is a decent game. I know it's a decent game, and I didn't play it. All right, there we go. That's better. Anyway, welcome to the second episode of this podcast, which is already on its last leg, because it's 30 degrees in the UK.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
also what you said
unbearable.
last episode. So, like, you kind of, we blew our load last episode already. So
Literally. We quite literally blew our
well, you were
load
blowing
last
those. I
episode.
was a Christian boy.
Alright, don't blame this on me now. Now, starting off, I want to talk Starfield. Okay?
Yeah.
Big release. Alright? And, okay, I've already spent like 15 hours plus.
Jesus.
Actually, it might be a bit more. But, and I made a video on it. And, so, yeah, because I did a bit of an oopsie on it. Alright? Because did you watch the video? Did you watch it? All?
I'm almost certain I did. I'll check my history. I'm pretty sure it was 60 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely watched it because
Yeah.
you basically said like what can you achieve, and then you like went yeah.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, what was my opinion of the game?
I'll be honest. I don't remember the video.
Alright, fair enough.
But no, hang on. Oh yeah. I remember now. Yeah. So well, your video was just kind of showing that the game sucks, and the only thing to do is to shoot these sort of lifeless NPCs.
And this is what I fucked up. That's not the point. That's not what I think about the game.
Oh.
That is. But the thing is,
The game still is lifeless.
yeah,
That's
a bit.
facts.
Yeah, I'll get into that. But this is what I'm disappointed, because this is now officially my most viewed video as of now, and I didn't make my point clear. I realized it's obviously my mistake, because everyone I've showed it to got the wrong idea. Sorry?
Yeah, but it's like not serious though. It
Yeah,
has to
of
have a
course.
narrative and a
Yeah. But what I think about the game, and what I was hoping to portray with this video, was that the main story was boring for me.
Yeah.
And I, like, the first 4 hours, I think, I've just exclusively played the main story. And that was boring as fuck. That was the most mind-numbing thing I've ever done. But obviously, I mean, some people are gonna like the story, but I enjoyed, and I genuinely just was so bored that I just saved the game and I started shooting people, and that's when, like, the second half of the video happened.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually had fun for the first time in the game, because it's the game is pretty much a loading screen simulator.
Oh, that's
There's fucking loading screens everywhere. Like, for every small room you enter, there's a fucking loading screen.
yeah. It feels like a next gen game, doesn't it? It feels good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it was boring. But what I wanted to show with the video was that, and I didn't do a good job. I guess, yeah, I need to learn from that. But the entire point of the video was, or at least what I wanted it to be, was find the playstyle you like, and that's how you're gonna find your fun. And even in the description of the video, I put like a score, and I rated it 8 out of 10. Because now, like, after that moment, I've been having so much fun with the game, I can't stop playing it. It's really fun. But I'm not touching the main story. It is so boring. The main story is mind-numbing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, have you played any of the Skyrim games?
I've not played. No.
No way, you've never played Skyrim?
No.
Dude.
Bit boring, though, isn't it? Bit boring. So it's just.
You haven't played it, you don't know.
Well, I have played it before. Sorry.
Mm.
It was just a bit boring, so I stopped playing.
Well, yeah, in the Skyrim games as well, the most fun part to me was going about and fucking around with the factions, because you had all the different factions, like Thieves faction and whatnot, and you can sort of climb up the ranks, and that's what in Starfield I'll get into a little bit of a spoiler here, but I found this random, like, I was running around and then a kiosk went, "Oh, sign up for a job," and I was like, "What? You can get a job in this game?" And as a meme, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go and I'll get a job."
Yeah.
And I got a fucking job, and now the plot has developed so much that I'm infiltrating a competitor, and it's like this entire thing, and it's so much more fun than what the main story is. And they gave me the power to control people's minds and like shit, and it's so much more fun. Yeah. It's so much more better.
Well, that's good.
So the entire point of that video was meant to be find the way you enjoy to play it. If you don't
because
like
because the game sucks fundamentally, so you have to do certain things to make it enjoyable, because the creators of the game didn't make it enjoyable. They failed in that respect. So that's good.
What they failed, in my opinion, in was showing you how to have fun, or like showing you the fun parts of. Because they've genuinely put so much work and detail into like the most random side quest.
Yeah.
Genuinely, the most random side quest that you just overhear some people talking on the streets is so much better than any of the main content. But like from the beginning of the game, you're sort of like forced into the main content.
Right.
And that was boring for me. I mean, some people, I've seen a lot of people enjoy it, and everyone is like, oh, after 12 hours it gets good. That's a dumb excuse. I shouldn't have to play something I don't like for 12 hours. I mean, that's a day. That's half a day, excluding the night.
Yeah, it's a whole day. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here.
I'm sorry, I'm just closed the window. An actual tornado has just hit. Jesus fucking Christ.
Really? Alright. I'm jealous.
Jesus Christ! Jesus
It's like
Christ!
40 degrees here. You better send some of that tornado down.
Oh my god! Alright. Yeah, the wind actually pushed the windows closed, which is ideal. But yeah, it's storming out there. There's like... It's violent. It's getting violent out there.
I'm jealous.
Well, it hasn't rained just yet.
I really want some... I just want some wind. It's so hot. I can't take it. The UK isn't built for hot weather.
Well, yeah. Well, we just don't have AC in our houses. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but
no place is built for hot weather. They just have AC in every building.
Well, no. I think I read something about some houses being designed in a way that, like, the wind would pass like below the thing or something. I think they were on stilts or something. So when the wind passes, sort of like, I don't know what it was.
Well, that's good.
Know. But Starfield.
Pick the Starfield.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like it. And the creators have genuinely done a good job. But what they haven't done a good job in is really showing you everything from the beginning. Or like giving you an idea of like what's out there.
You just made me think. Do you think it would improve if they had good characters from the start that you were attached to? Like, because at least from the gameplay I saw, are there actual meaningful characters that you like that are going to be there with you throughout, most of the journey or whatever, or are they kind of, or is it just all throwaway characters? Because I think that would make that first 12 hours when you're learning the game, that would make it so much more engaging. And then I think Cyberpunk did that. You get introduced to those characters kind of early on, and then the world opens up after the fact. And I feel like, even though Cyberpunk is a horrific game, and I'm never touching that piece of crap again, but at least had characters that stand out and that were pretty good. Does Starfield have that? Like, I feel like you should have that from the beginning to rope people in.
I mean, you have characters, and I think the characters stick around because you're sort of, minor spoilers, but you're sort of introduced to this faction, and like every consecutive mission you sort of play together with a different character and you learn their backstories. Like, there's this dude that goes everywhere with his daughter, but that's not the problem. The problem is, even though I'd say the characters are okay, they're not bad, the problem is the first few interactions that you have with them is them telling you, go over there, take that, come back. And the process of going there, taking that and coming back is a bunch of loading screens. That's probably my biggest gripe with the game. Like, if you want to get on your ship and go to a different star system, so you've got a loading screen to board your ship. Then, when you take off with your ship, you got to watch an animation, which is basically a loading screen. Then, you got to pick where you want to go. So you pick where you want to go, but you can only pick the star system first, right? So you've got to watch a little animation and a loading screen to go to that star system. And then once you're in that star system, to land, you've got to watch yet another animation, which is basically a loading screen. So there's no actual... It's just dumb. Like, the entire thing, if you're going to have animations and all... You could have done it in one simple, quick animation. You're wasting my time. I was falling asleep. I was more tired after my first 4 hours of gameplay than 5 hours at the gym.
Bro, and what I'm sensing is that I feel like if it was the game that they advertised that was going to release would mean that going from point A to point B is the exciting part because it's so rich and you're manually doing it. There's no loading screens. You're manually traveling in a world that's live. But from what I saw, you go to a randomly generated planet, it's empty, there's invisible barriers so you can't actually travel to a destination on foot, and there's one type of alien that just walks around every now and then, and that is it. There is nothing else. That it upsets me that this game has sold what it literally sells for the base value for £60.
And usually, by the way, for all the Americans, you would usually expect $60, but I'm pretty sure in the UK it's usually like £50. We used to get games for.
Right, so in America it's $60, but in the UK they've just been like, oh yeah, but £60 is the same value, isn't it? So they're like, yeah, we'll just check it on 60 instead of 50.
Most games, like Legend of Zelda, when it came out, it was like £50.
Yeah.
Instead of 60, but it was $60 in. Anyway, but I agree with you. It's really expensive, and it should be. They've spent a lot of time on developing it, but I agree with you. It's just the entire thing of, oh, we've got 1 million planets. Okay, cool. You've got 1 million planets, but they're absolutely fucking pointless.
Yeah.
There is no point. Like, as I said, I've spent 15 plus hours, and outside when I was forced to, I would never just go to a random planet because they're all boring. There's nothing on them. There might be like a random outpost, but there's no payoff. Like, why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah.
And I feel like they must have known when they started making the game, they must have known that there is no way you can make 1 million planets feel alive.
Yeah.
Not with our current technology. So I feel like what they should have done is maybe make 5 systems with 10 planets each or whatever.
Yeah, and tailor them. Actually make them, handcraft them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I would have preferred that way.
I think you could even get I don't know how game development works, obviously. But I don't care how game development works. I just care that you release just a completely underwhelming and not fit for purpose product at full price. That's what upsets me. And I think, like you said, making the handcrafted systems, I feel like you can make, you could use AI to sort of generate the ideas, like to randomize. So say you make a set piece, you can sort of get AI to randomize the set piece, make it look a bit different. And then, you know what I mean? I think like there's both. I think a human and AI can do it together. But yeah, it's just, I feel like you can I think you can have all those extra planets if, like you said, there's a base 5 systems that are, quality. We need quality. Otherwise, like you said, like the intro. How can the intro of a game not pull you in? It's basically unacceptable.
I agree. It's completely stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't like it. And does my microphone pick up my washing machine?
I don't hear anything. It might on the recording. We'll have to see.
Oh, I would hate it if it picks up the washing machine.
That's fun.
Well, anyway, I gotta do my clothes, so deal with it.
Oh. You're not very professional.
What can I do? It's running
we had
for
this
4
scheduled
hours.
in.
Oh yeah. And how many topics did you prepare?
By the way, it is storming outside.
Well, I hope that
going
comes
for it.
here fucking soon.
No, like it is chucking it down. Like it's windy as well, so it's like really whipping into the windows. You know.
God's upset about Starfield.
He's pissing everywhere. Oh my god.
But as I was saying, I really do like the game. It is really fun.
Stop the cap.
No, genuinely, it is really fun. But I've never left. Like I mainly play because they've built like a few big settlements. Like you've got like big cities which are massive and they're full of content. Like genuinely, but that's what I spend all of my time, and that's what I have fun. Outside, like the star part of Starfield is boring. And do you know what's even dumber? So they've got like combat with spaceships and stuff. But I don't know who designed this. The default key to lock onto a target is E, right? But E is also the button that makes your character stand up. So I was in the middle of a very intense like gunfight in space, and I press E to target, and then my character stands up
Out of the seat.
Oh god! While I'm still in the fight, and guess what? There's an animation that you've got to watch of how he stands up.
Yeah. Oh, mate, drawn out animations where you can't move. Really, because I've been playing Remnant 2.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mechanics in that game that regardless of skill or how the mechanic works, when you're locked into an animation for what feels like a long time, and it only takes 1 or 2.5 seconds, I don't know what the time it is, just it infuriates me. It doesn't matter whether I got outplayed or whatever, or it's part of the game. You know what I mean? Just being locked into an animation where you can't move is genuinely infuriating.
It's really annoying.
It's really I think only people who've actually played it will understand it, but like, man, it feels like an eternity, and it's so upsetting, especially when you do that and it's long enough where it actually affects the game and you can't you lose a fight or you die, and it's just like poor game design. Because
remember, the dude stands up, he needs to sit down, and when he sits down there's another animation which is so annoying, because the animation is literally he sits down and he needs to adjust all the fucking displays in front of him.
Yeah. He can't just like hop back in, which would be so much more immersive if there was a different animation that was faster. You know what I mean?
I don't think you need an animation at all. I don't wanna. Maybe like once, I don't know, at the beginning of the game, maybe. Right? I don't want to watch you sit down every time. I've seen a person sit down before.
Yeah, I know.
And he's just sitting there adjusting his fucking. So
I'm getting shot at.
Yeah, I'm being shot at by 3 people, and my dude's just adjusting his fucking displays, and then I die.
It's like adjusting your mirrors before a car chase. It's like, hold up.
Yeah,
the driver's side one's a bit iffy. I'm gonna just hang on. Yeah, the seat's not right.
Yeah, it's so dumb, and I was like, I was about to drop it, and because obviously I wanted to make the video on it, but after the first 4 hours I was like, there's no point in me making a video on this. There's nothing interesting here.
Yeah.
But now I've 180'd on that. It's definitely fun. It's really fun if you play the side stuff.
Because they're actually interesting characters, interesting stories, and you're actually I just want to say, is part of what makes it interesting is that you make the path yourself. You're not just on the set railroad tracks of the game.
Yeah.
You're actually defining an actual character. You feel like you're actually making an impact, even though you're just following one of the like flow charts, I guess, and maybe the dialogue doesn't really make a difference really overall, but still, it's just a more invested, way to play.
Yeah, in this one of the side plots for the faction that I was playing with, I was presented with this choice, which, from all I've seen so far, does actually make a really big difference on your gameplay. Right. And basically, it was I had to, without spoiling much, I had to decide whether this character that sort of introduced me to the faction and praised me the entire time and helped me. They were being framed, and they were telling me, I'm being framed, you need to trust me, and I had to make a decision whether to believe them or not. And once I was presented with the decision, I realized that if I kill them, I can take their place in the faction.
Actually, your actions actually have consequences. Yeah.
So I've obviously I took that decision. I killed them.
You savage.
And it was actually sad. Like, I actually felt bad.
You felt bad, yeah.
I actually did feel bad because I was playing for about 10 hours with this character, and I felt bad because it's also like you're just a human being. You do feel a bit bad, but I don't know. I get too attached to games. And I felt bad, but then I was like, I went back to like the faction, and I revealed a big plot because I knew, and this wasn't something that the previous character that I killed revealed to me entirely. Yeah. I sort of pieced it together, and then I was able to go back, speak to the person who was framing them, and be like, I know you're framing them. Unprompted.
That's a little Andrew Tate little.
So it was a nice, and now I'm part of their subplot into overtaking the company. So
it's getting spicy. Really cool. Would you say?
I'd say it's really spicy. It's really fun. This is what I mean. But like then
I feel fun. I feel the fun radiating from this plot line. I'm very excited. It makes me want to play.
Yeah, and while I was, and because of that whole thing, then they gave me the ability to control people's minds, and I was tasked to infiltrate an entire company. Sure. And to infiltrate them, I was pretending. So I had full decision how I wanted to do it, whether I just wanted to sneak into the building or what I went for was I pretended to be a marketing representative of a different company, and I scheduled a meeting with them. So they let me into the building. And this is what I mean. Like, it really is fun. It really is good.
Yeah.
And all the good parts of all Bethesda games are here. Like, your typical like save the game and go do something dumb just for a bit to have some fun or whatever. But then before I continued with that quest with infiltrating, I wanted to level up a bit my manipulation skill so I can manipulate higher level guards.
Yeah.
So I went to do another mission from the main storyline, and I almost fell asleep.
Because you had to, yeah.
But you know what the worst part is? With the main storyline, the characters, because every time you play with one of the different characters, and they follow you the entire time. So you can't just in the middle of the quest be like, fuck it, I don't want to do this, I want to do something else. I mean, you can, but there's going to be some dude following you the entire time. It's just, I found that a bit annoying.
Are these main quests, are they just uninteresting, or do you just feel like you have to do it for the sake of doing it, or are they just not interesting enough to make you want to actually pursue whatever story they're trying to tell?
Yeah, it feels like a chore, and also it feels like the interesting part about this game, and all Bethesda games in fact, is when you get to define who you are. So you sort of like, you join a faction and you're able to like be, I don't know, just their loyal dog follower, or you can like cause them trouble, or you've got some leeway with it.
Yeah.
But with that, I feel like, for one, it's the main storyline, so whatever you do, maybe you get like 3 different endings at best. It just kind of feels inconsequential. There's a big mystery, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I want to unravel, but I don't want to go through all of... And the fact that the characters follow me is so annoying. I hate it. I just want to go at it on my own and do it myself, because...
Well, how do they change your interaction with the environment and having them follow you? Can you not do certain things, or
They break your immersion because they are unkillable.
right?
They cannot die. So
Whilst meanwhile you're risking your life to do whatever you do. No, you can save the game, but it's there's no consequences.
Yeah. It's just you're when you're immersed in a game, you sort of, for a bit, you do forget it's a game. While you're playing it. But then the dude is just sitting there taking up all the shots, and you're like, all right, yeah, he's one of the main characters. He can't die.
Yeah, it just kind of it can look kind of goofy. Whereas at least
Yeah,
when you're the one doing it, you still feel like it's okay.
Yeah, and I've seen people who, like, because you can sort of, like, while they're following you, you can kind of ignore the main quest. And I've seen people online who went to jail while the person was following them, and they went to jail with them.
Well, that's kind of cool.
No, that's fucking dumb. Why the fuck? This is like, stop following me. I just want to do the quest. And
Right.
it's not like, I mean, I get it. They've, this is just a personal thing, I suppose. Maybe people like it. I don't know. But one of the characters, actually, the cowboy one, if you've played it, he had an interesting backstory. Like, his grandfather was one of the founders of one of the planets, and he, like, whatever. That one was kind of fun. And he has a kid, and I kept insulting his kid. And that was actually in the video. It's basically, I just kept saying, like, this kid's fucking dumb. Leave him behind. And he's like, it's my kid, dude. I don't like you talking shit about my kid. But I talked shit about his kid, and then he still came with me.
Right. No consequences.
No consequences, no.
Especially when you make fun of someone's child, you think that evokes some kind of emotion.
Especially from this character who's, like, all about family,
Right. There's not enough
So
detail.
yeah, but still, that mission was a little fun. I quite like that one.
Okay.
But yeah, my advice is, if you're playing the game, just, if you find something boring, go and do something else. You do have the freedom, and there's enough things there to keep you entertained for a while. I still want to discover whether you can fuck any of the characters, though.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, that plot I was telling you, where I was like, where I knew who was framing her. And
you actually knew that it was confirmed that they were actually being framed, but you killed them anyway.
Yeah, but then I went to that person, and she was like, "Oh, come in my office. Let me lock the door behind." And I was like, "She gonna suck my dick too?" Like, she didn't. Spoiler alert. But
that's a shame.
yeah,
Bit of immersion breaker there, but
if this was real life, she'd suck my dick for sure.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but yeah. I would say, just do what's fun to you, and fuck the main mission. If you don't like it, just don't do it, and you shouldn't be stuck at a loading screen. That's ridiculous.
Facts, bit of facts. Yeah.
Especially, like, they've been developing it for like 9 years, though.
You do expect something.
Well, yeah, I'm just kind of thinking, like, if they've started it 9 years ago, there's no way they can predict the hardware we've got now.
And it still runs badly.
Runs badly. Yeah, it runs about 30 FPS.
Actually, yes, the
30
age
FPS.
should genuinely, because they always make it based on the consoles rather than PC.
Yeah,
it should be very easy to run. So yeah, it is very strange. But again, I don't know how the game development process really works. So
Yeah.
But doesn't matter
People
about
have
how the
to-
game votes. If you make a bad product, you make a bad product, and you shouldn't release it for full price. But you have done that because you want money for not. Even if you've invested all that money, I don't care because you made a bad game, and that's.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't matter because enough people buy it. The cycle continues.
I disagree because I think the price is justifiable. Like when you play it, you do get a sense of like.
It's not just a regular game, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it this is massive. This is big. This is a big game. It looks amazing. You know, I'm not upset about the price. The price is decent. You know, and I'm not upset that I genuinely think it's a good game. But people in the comments of my video seem to think that I don't like the game.
Yeah, because anyone wants to defend Starfield because they have sad lives. I don't know.
Well, also it was because I fucked up. I didn't explain it because everyone I showed it to was like, "Oh, you don't like the game," but I do. Even like, I guess I didn't portray it well in the video, which is my fault.
It's hard to.
Well, yeah, because I tried to keep it entertaining. Like,
yeah, God forbid you do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, bro. Should have kept it to the Stone Cold.
And because obviously, like the format is a 60-second video. Like that's a minute. How can you explain this massive game in a minute? You can't. There's no way. So I sort of went for an approach of what's, you know, what is it about the game that is good and what isn't? Like what's worth doing and what isn't? And it was very subjective because a lot of people enjoy the story. I don't know why, but a lot of people do, and that's fine. That, you know, if you want to do it, you do you, boo boo. I don't have time to sit in front of fucking loading screens. Although whatever you do, there's gonna be loading screens.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want to use my loading screen time on something that I'm not interested in.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Or a loading screen for, you know, if you load screen that much, loading screens are normally there for a payoff. Like there's you're going to a brand new area, a brand new big thing that hasn't been loaded before. But if you're doing it every 5 seconds, it messes up the pacing completely on a level that only the player can really notice. You have to play it's not good.
Yeah, no,
good.
Absolutely, because the traveling, the interstellar traveling, was so dull. Like they force you to basically you have a set amount of fuel, so like you can't go 60 star systems ahead because you don't have enough fuel to go there. So, but at no point do you refuel your ship. Or, yeah, I mean, you yourself don't refuel your ship. Even though you don't have enough fuel to jump 60 star systems, all you need to do is jump 5 at a time, which just adds extra time.
That is so stupid.
It's like, yeah, I feel, and this isn't just Starfield. A lot of games recently have been doing this thing where they've just been like, oh, we've got 120 hours of gameplay, but 120 hours of gameplay, of which 90% is just animations.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Not fun.
It's not fun. Unless the animations are actually, you know, like battling Zeus or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there on a ship, the ship goes brrr.
Facts.
It's dumb.
No facts.
Ship go brrr. Yeah, it's...
Yeah, I mean, imagine if it was open world on this. Like, they could have like fucking space gas stations out there, and there could be all kinds of kooky characters. You know what I mean? If you could like literally free fly through that environment.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And they've sort of made an excuse for that. Like you can technically fly about with your ship everywhere, but there's only a few set locations where there is something, and the only way to get to them is to sit through a fucking loading screen.
Oh.
No Man's Sky came out in 2000 and what? When did fucking
Mate,
2015?
I haven't played that game yet, and it's had so many updates. I'm actually gonna get back. I'm gonna try it.
It's really good, and even when the game came out in an unfinished state, the one thing that they had was the fluid transition between. In No Man's Sky, you can get on your ship from one side of the planet, and you can walk or travel or in any way you want get to the other side of the planet.
Excellent.
Or leave the planet and there is no loading screens.
Yeah.
You do feel a bit of a, like, as you're leaving, there's a bit of a lag.
Yeah.
But then
Perfectly reasonable. Way better than a loading screen. Way better.
it came out in 2015 or some. When did it came out? No Man's Sky.
I think one thing I saw people saying
2016. Sorry.
is that the overall gameplay, like it's still the same old Bethesda engine. They have made it smoother apparently.
Yeah.
But it's still the same fundamental shooting gameplay, and what if it was a new engine?
Yeah, well, that would take a lot of time and
money. I know, but just what if
they're lazy.
I guess I haven't played the other games, but like if you want the same old type of gameplay though, and it's kind of comforting to, because I understand that as well, because I'm playing Remnant 2, and it's very similar to Remnant 1, and that's why it's good.
Yeah, well,
and it is a bit smoother and there's extra features, but I actually quite enjoy a sequel to a game when they directly build upon a previous game, because it's so similar. But it doesn't really apply for Starfield because it's a brand new game. But yeah.
And by the way, that makes me sad because I really want the industry to innovate and make new IP. I don't want the 16th Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it's getting a bit. Well, Assassin's Creed isn't Assassin's Creed anymore anyway. It's like fucking. I don't know what it is anymore.
They're all the same game. They're all the same fucking game.
They're just reskins, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it, and the story is never good. Like after the third one, the story's never been good.
Well, because there's no like consistent characters you care about. It's just a bunch of random people you're introduced to.
Yeah.
And then
kind of like my videos. Anyway, sure. But I would really hope that more games come out where they're like a brand new IP, or I mean, I would like a lot more new IPs to get attached to, and then it's fine to make a sequel. I would play a Starfield 2 because I enjoy Starfield 1, but it's nice now and again to get new. And yeah, you're right about the engine. They should have made a new engine.
Yeah, doesn't feel the same.
The game runs well, and it runs better than any of the other ones, but the other ones run like shit, so in terms of bugs, and because FPS, Skyrim runs on my toaster, like whatever.
Yeah,
but it's buggy.
Well, and to be fair, those games as well, thanks to modders, you can really do some great stuff with it as well. So.
Yeah, well, actually, in the first 24 hours of Starfield coming out, it had like 140 mods or something like that.
Yeah, and all just quality of life stuff.
Yeah, because there's so many things that they could have just like slightly tweaked to make it better.
Yeah, and that's the worst part, is that they're really simple ones, and then the people that actually play the game are like, you just get rid of all this, and yet the people that release the game didn't realize this. That's the most concerning thing I think with games these days, is that they just release in a bad. I think games have always released in a bad state. A lot of games have, like a lot, but I don't know. I feel like it's just. I think the longer you're alive on this earth, and like you see the cycle of games, I think I just get more and more disappointed and jaded with the game release. I think everyone you see who's getting excited about it are either just diehard fans of that thing, or they haven't been around long enough.
They're kids, yeah.
I think genuinely that is partly the reason it sells so well. And I think, I don't know, I just see it a different way now, and I can't unsee it either. And it just, I think maybe it's always been like this. But I think it's so easy to look over stuff, because especially when there's no other game like it, you still play it. Like, even if the game's not very good, like, no other game is doing what Starfield's doing, technically speaking. So play it. Why wouldn't you play it if you wanted to play that type of game?
Yeah, in terms of like, I think Starfield is one of the. Actually, 2023 I think has been a decently good year for video games, and Starfield is, in my opinion, is a full, well-built game. The problem is like, I think it's a finished game. I don't think there's anything where they've like, like Cyberpunk. Where,
Yeah, you can get it's enough quality that you can at least play it, not get soft locked for the most part, and just have a decent
what I
experience.
will say is like, I think they've done what they've wanted to do, and it's done. I think just what they wanted to do was the wrong things.
Or at least that's what the gameplay seems to suggest.
Yeah, and I want to make
Because
it clear,
advertising
I like
always...
the game. I liked the game. I liked it. I'm still playing it. I just played it right before we started recording this.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. It's really fun. It's just the few minor bits, and I criticize it because I like it. There is such a thing.
Yes, and if you don't criticize things, you're like, there's something wrong with you. You need to.
Yeah.
There's good and bad with everything. Like, yeah.
And I bet, you know what? I bet the people that actually worked on the game, the devs, wanted to make handcrafted planets. They wanted to allow you to just fly in and out freely.
Yeah, whoever makes the decision for the game to release is different to the people who work on it creatively.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and
exactly.
I mean, there's loads. Back for 2042, absolute disaster. And it's just, I assume that they just, I mean, because it costs so much to make, it's all dependent on the people that invested the money initially, and you.
Exactly.
I guess I assume you can't be like, yeah, we're gonna hold it back another like 3 years to make it really good, or whatever. They can't. They have to release it, and I mean, they make fat stacks releasing even a half-baked game anyway. So it's just like, why wouldn't they release it as well? So I can't really. I mean, people are gonna buy it, If people have bought it, doesn't matter. It's kind of already done. But yeah, I think you just have to get your own enjoyment out of it. Find your own fun,
and in Starfield, there's a lot of enjoyment to be had. Absolutely. I mean, you can absolutely make your own story and go about. I mean, I named my my character Santa, and I made him look like Santa, and I've just been running around. To me, it's funny, the mere fact that there's a dude called Santa running around like a maniac, killing everyone. I
think a lot of Bethesda games, when you can feel like you actually make your own character, or at least you can feel like you're in an actual world. So the character choices you make actually feel like, there's a guy dressed as Santa right now, like that. But because of the world you're in, it actually makes it so much more fun and interesting watching other characters interact with you, or watching the world around you whilst you're playing as that character. Whereas if you just like buy a skin on a multiplayer game, there's no feelings attached to that. So I think that is an important part of it for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? In the settlements, in like the cities and stuff that they've built, the world does feel really alive. Like they've got this thing in the game called a neuro amp, and it's like a chip you put on your face, and it gives you like, I mean, it depends what you equip, but some will give you like 5% plus diplomacy skills or whatever.
Yep.
And like you go near a guard, and the guard will be like, I know you're wearing the neuro amp. Don't try it on me, or stuff like that. Like they'll see what you're doing and they'll react to it.
Yeah. And it feels way more alive when you do it, for sure.
Yeah, I was wearing my spacesuit and I entered the board meeting, and they were like, "You look like shit. You need a suit." And it's these little things that like make me happy. I'm playing it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's
great
cool.
Attention to detail. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's one of those things you think is little, but it's a culmination of all these little things. That's what makes a really great RPG game is all of the little details come together and they all link together, and it feels like an actual world of real characters that interact with each other.
Yeah. Well, have you seen anything about the game on your own?
I watched gameplay of it, and it was not. We weren't having fun. Let's put it that way. But what I like about the game is because it is actually way deeper than a casual person would see. Because people can have really specific storylines and characters and builds. Whether or not it makes an overall difference, I don't know. But if you just go on Twitch and you look at someone, they're having a completely different experience playing the game because of how they play it. So I think that is a really great thing, because everyone can have a different playthrough. At least that's
one of the things you gotta love about Bethesda. They do that really, really well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed, there isn't a map. You don't have a map.
Yeah, I saw some complaints about that. I don't understand that as per se. I'm not sure how.
But you know what? I
maybe you should get used to it.
I didn't notice I didn't have a map until I watched the video and someone was like, "There's no map." And I was like, "Oh yeah."
Again, I think that's a great idea if there weren't so many loading screens, because it'd be. I think like that's what no map creates immersion. If there wasn't so many loading screens.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
Well, because traveling through the city, like in one of the main cities, they've got they've pretty much just made the subway. And the subway system is you go by the subway, you choose your location, and you watch an animation and a loading screen.
Yeah.
And the subway part and all of that like makes the city feel alive, but again, you just. I mean, yeah, I suppose you gotta do a loading screen there. I don't know. It's just. But the no map thing doesn't bother me, and as I said, I didn't even notice it. I feel it might be just because there's always a pointer at your face showing you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And I haven't really done much, just like wandering around without like, because at all points, even if you are just wandering randomly, there is a pointer somewhere.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can turn it off if you want, but yeah. And I was gonna say, the character creation screen adds a few really cool things. Like, you can choose traits. So one of the traits that I was about to choose, but then I got a bit scared, was you can begin the game with a house and a mortgage.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. But you have to pay it out.
You've got to pay out the mortgage. So you have to go to the bank, and if you don't have the money, you need to do them a favor. And there are like, it's so unique to where like if you download it right now, as you said, there's no way you're gonna have the same experience as me.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it doesn't have to be a wildly different experience. The fact that it's even slightly different is a big deal, because it's partly meant to be a story game. But the fact that that there's that freedom to do that is crazy.
Yeah, and it's wildly different. It won't be the slightest bit the same, because you have random events as well that will happen sometimes. Like pirates will come by, or like someone will attack you, or someone will be like, "Oh, can we have a tour of your fucking ship?" And no.
And then you save the game and kill them.
You save the game, you kill them, and then you load again.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Just to get the stress out.
Yeah. Literally, I love doing that. But as I said, it's really, really fun. It's a really good game. They've done a really good job. There are a lot of things that are lacking though, and for the amount of time that it's taken them to develop it, and the hype that they built around it. I saw this one YouTube channel saying like, "Oh, well done to Bethesda for managing expectations," and I was like, "What do you mean managing expectations? They spent 5 years telling me how it's gonna be an open."
It's the same. Yeah, I didn't really sort of follow that, but how it's the same old big words on the front cover being like most ambitious, blah blah blah. Like it never is. It never is.
It never is. Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to say that, but at the same time, you're advertising it, so. What else is it supposed to say? Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of loading
We've
screens.
actually, there's a bunch of stuff that we said we are gonna do and we haven't, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's a clip of, Todd. I know you know Todd.
Toddski, yeah, Todders.
Yeah, Todders. There's a clip of
Big
him marketing, Skyrim, and he goes, "You see that mountain? You can go up there." And in Starfield, which is like their next gen game, you land on a planet, you see a mountain, and you can't go there. You just can't.
You're
You
not
just
allowed.
walk forever, and you don't go anywhere.
It's not ideal.
And as I was saying previously, like No Man's Sky did it so much better. The world is so much fuller, and they have the same idea of procedurally generated planets.
Yeah, and they actually have a little bit of variety. I know,
It's still dead.
Yeah.
It's still dead,
but
it's
visually
way
different.
more better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for one, the space stuff in No Man's Sky is so cool. It's insane. You've got these, like, if you're a fan of Star Wars or any like big sci-fi in space, like war type thing, it is so much fun. It is so good. And like the spaceship, like I actually want, because in Starfield you can build your own spaceship, and I've seen a lot of people praise like, oh, it's so in depth and whatever. I don't care. Why do I need a new spaceship? I don't care.
Especially when it's just a loading screen. Like you don't actually get to fly it. Like the ship doesn't have a personality or a different type of performance or handling or features. I assume it could potentially just be visual, especially when you're using it just to travel and it's a loading screen.
Yeah, well, it does. So you can add like modifications to it, and like it will actually make it move quicker or do more damage. But there's nothing that happens in space that's like, there's no reason for me to buy a new engine, right?
Yeah.
Upgraded, to go quicker, because surprise, surprise, everything's a loading screen, and I'm just navigating the map. I don't need to move faster. So that's what I meant by what is in No Man's Sky. Like, you want a faster ship because you fly your ship. In No Man's Sky, you leave one planet, you see the other planet, and you just go.
Yeah.
You can fast travel if you have like, because they have like this special fast travel mechanic, and if you've set up the thing on your planet, you can fast travel if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can just use your ship and go there. And while you're doing that, there'll be a load of pirates. You can do asteroid mining. There's so much things to do. Oh, there's space stations, space frigates and stuff that show up. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, it's amazing. And I love it. And then when you enter the planet, you just go in. You decide where to go in depending on where it's so much cooler.
Yeah.
Like, space in No Man's Sky is way better, and I cannot believe, like, if this was 2016, this would be insane. Why would you be praising No Man's Sky? But at the moment, No Man's Sky is such a good spot, and I think I'll do a video about it because it's so much better than Starfield. In terms of space
I think
stuff.
it's a great video to make, to sort of, to actually compare the two, and I think and you can really put a spotlight on that game. So I think,
because as I said, space stuff is way better. But I mean, obviously, No Man's Sky does have a story, but the story is lacking. Like, obviously, Bethesda, when it comes to story building and world building,
it should be pro. It should be pro.
Yeah, there's a world there, and it's good. But they also like spent £600 million on this game, so it better be.
It's kind of like
Yeah, and No Man's Sky, like, it's got a story, and it's exciting, but it's not the same. You're not building a world. It's more like, one thing that we found really fun is, like, you can gather your friends all in the same world. You can all build your own factions on different planets, and then sort of have interstellar wars and trade wars, and like, It's so much fun. It's so cool, and all of your friends in the same world. Like, it's really good. Whereas in Starfield, for one, it's single player, and I like the game. I don't want because I'm. The comments on that last 60 seconds video, man, I swear to God, everyone was like, why are you hating it? I'm not fucking hating it. I'm just pointing out the bad parts of the game.
Yeah.
Because it's not perfect. And
yeah.
And I didn't want to respond to any of the comments.
Oh, absolutely not. There's no point.
Because, you know, whatever
they're
people get out of
ways.
the video they get. Like, I should have done a better job explaining what I think. Like, it's not their fault for misunderstanding. Everyone misunderstood it. No one got the right my point. So it's my fault, obviously.
Yeah. Right. No.
It's
Okay.
just-
Take responsibility for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is definitely my response because I literally showed it to all of my friends and they were like, "Yeah, you hate the game." I was like, "No, no."
Yeah. For me, I didn't get that impression. I just saw it as, just an entertaining way to point out an aspect of the game, because you're not lying, you're not twisting the narrative, but you're just literally giving it. This is what an experience of the game is like.
Yeah. Exactly.
One interpretation.
Yeah.
You never. Yeah, people they just assume that because it is negative, it is purposely attacking it, whereas it's just at a perspective on the game.
Yeah, and also I think the other place where I fucked up is the transition I had between the two. So like I spent the first 10 seconds or so like just saying how much I hated the story and how boring it was.
Yeah, valid criticism, surely.
And then I went, instead of saying, but the flip side is, or whatever, I sort of went that because of that I went mental, which is true actually. That's how my gameplay went. Like I was so bored that I just saved the game and started killing people.
Got it, either.
And by the way, do you know what the punishment for all the shit I did was?
Yeah.
You go in jail for a few days and then you go out.
That's good.
That's it. I massacred half the city and then it's just like, okay, you're free now. But yeah, anyway, that's the fun parts of this game, and I urge you to focus on whatever you find fun. If you find the story fun, that's fine. You know, it's whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
You can derive your own enjoyment of the game. But yeah, go play No Man's Sky as well. No Man's Sky is a great game.
Yeah, shout
out No Man's Sky. I'll make a video about No Man's Sky. Because it's so good. It's such a good game. I think I've spent like 60 hours in it already. And I haven't even explored... Because they keep updating it as well. And they're not like minor updates. They're massive, big updates that add like new plot points, new ships, new things to do. Like you can create your own entire city and you become the mayor of it, and then you can sort of like manage policies. So you can almost play it as a empire building kind of space game. Or if you just want to be like a pirate getting like people's contraband and then flipping it and making a lot of money, you can do that. If you want to explore, there's a lot to explore. If you want to just go with the story, you can go with the story if you want.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and Bethesda, this game, Starfield, is similar. It's just kind of, you know, it's bad. In certain areas, it's bad.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you still play it, still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and
I'll keep playing it.
You just can't argue that you can't argue that it's good. Like when it, you know what I mean? Like when there's in certain areas, when it's that poor quality in certain areas, you can't just sit there and pretend it doesn't. Like, because it affects the rest of the game. It affects like the immersion, everything. It affects all of it. So that the good parts, unfortunately, get ruined by the bad parts. Doesn't mean there aren't good parts. Doesn't mean there aren't bad parts. But you know what I mean. You can't one can't save the other.
Yeah.
Also, the good parts can't save the bad parts, and the bad parts can't not be noticed. They can't be unseen or just hidden away.
Yeah. But to be honest, at this point, I'm sick of talking about Starfield.
Because the same thing happened with Cyberpunk. When people are like, actually Cyberpunk is bad, like there's actually a lot of things wrong with this game.
Did anyone say anything good
everyone
about?
just defends it. Yeah, but there's always people that's like, no, it's actually really good, it's really great, you haven't actually...
Really? Jesus Christ. I mean, that was an
It happens
objectively
it happens to every single thing on planet Earth. I'm sure there's someone with an opinion like, actually, you know, what Hitler did was actually kind of cool. You just haven't looked at it the right way. There's always going to be people like that, but they get quite passionate about it. So I do think it is, they genuinely do think that way. It's not just like someone kind of trolling. Like you said in the comments, like it gets heated immediately.
Yeah.
They are actually genuinely upset about a non-serious and basically non-serious video.
Should I read out some of these? Like,
yeah, do it. I haven't read them, so.
Well, because I feel bad because obviously, thank you for watching.
No, if you're dumb, you're dumb. Like,
but they're not dumb. They're not, because again, it is my fault for.
Well, then we can address them and we can sort of point out where they're right and then point out where they're wrong. You know.
It is absolutely my fault though, because you know, no, as I said, absolutely no one got what I was talking about. So, you know, that means it's my fault. I should have.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, you for sure.
But like, as I said, at the time of release of the video, I played like 10 hours ish maybe. And there's a comment here. Well, don't be like this guy and play 100 hours in the first week and you'll be fine. I don't get the hate. It's a decent game. It is a decent game. I know it's a decent game. And I didn't play 100 hours. And if you... Did you watch the video? Did you actually watch it?
Yeah, when did you hate on the game though?
Did you watch it? Jesus Christ. Like, yes, at the beginning I was saying how boring the story is.
He also provides no explanation of decent game. Like, how many hours has he played? Oh, well, I bought it. I've done a few loading screens, and then I couldn't play because I was busy like dealing with my children or whatever. So yeah, it's a decent game though. So I don't know why there's so much hate. It's like, what?
I've done a few loading screens.
Also, if someone played 100 hours, first of all, it's impossible based on when it was released, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy is.
If I've played 100 hours and I tell you it sucks, it probably sucks. If I've actually played 100 hours,
but
which
yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't.
Any game like that's still bad, like that's the thing. You just have to admit that. You have to admit the bad things about the game. But people can't admit the bad things about the game. They refuse to admit the bad things about the game. But if you did, you know what I mean? There's just this. I don't know.
And I agree
they just
with
pick
the
a
guy.
side. They just pick a side. Why do you? Pick a side?
They do. Yeah, people just are really divided. And the thing is, me and this guy, we probably agree. It is my fault that I presented it poorly.
Well, you described it for a 60-second YouTube video. It's meant to be entertaining, and he described it through a poorly written comment. You know what I mean?
But I agree with him. It is a decent game. It's a decent game, but it's not a perfect game. Yeah. So when I say the story sucks, my opinion is the story sucks. The main story. And
what you know what would fix that if the developers made a better story. That's what would fix it. Or
just made it more engaging. There's some good characters. One of the first characters that you meet actually, he's really fun. But what am I meant to do with it? Just sit through a loading screen for half the game? But someone replied to this person. I won't read out the entire comment because it's really long. But they replied to him defending me, and the entire interaction is based on the wrong assumption that I hate the game. So there's people defending me.
Yeah, defending your supposed hatred of the game,
which I don't hate, and then there's people who are hating me for hating the game, and both groups are wrong.
Yeah.
You are all wrong. There's not a single. Oh, actually, there is this one dude who was like, Yes, this. That was the best comment.
Which is actually perfect, because that's exactly what your video is that it's a casual comment. It's a legitimate comment. That person, I feel like that person is saying, I've done this. Like, I was playing the game, I was actually getting kind of bored, and I've done this in the game. I don't hate the game. I don't like praise the game. I just have experienced the game, and that is one aspect of looking at it. That is the one sane human being in the comment section.
Exactly. And honestly, like, this is my most viewed video, but it's also my most disliked video of all time.
People are fucking sad.
And I was getting concerned, because I was like, did I make a bad video, or is it only because I gave an opinion?
Yeah, that feeling of, I know. It's like you shouldn't be upset, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, did you mess up? You have to.
Yeah, well,
whether or not it's valid or not, you have to check.
And I've obviously messed up here. It's obviously my fault. I can't blame people for like, you know, if you read Mein Kampf and you're like, oh, this is a pretty cool dude, pretty positive guy, then maybe, you know, it's your fault. But you know what I mean? Like, if the video doesn't make it clear, and you think I hate it because of everyone thought I hated it, so that means I fucked up. But yeah, it got 22 dislikes, which I know doesn't sound like much, but there's 77 likes, so that's like a 77%.
I don't know what statistics you're doing right now, but I'm just going to agree with you.
Well, it's bad, basically. All my other videos are like at 97% likes.
Right.
You know, so it's mostly like, but this one got really disliked. It is my most disliked video, and it is one of the most commented on videos. That's not a word, but you know, people engaged with it.
You did it. You did an English word. I'm proud of you. You did it.
Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah, and then I mean, there's this dude who, like, I don't know how I feel about this comment. He went, I hope you get Big Brother. We need more honest content creators like you, and for the devs to realize we don't like security and the popo in these games, we want to fight them. If you don't create systems in which we can rebel against them, or do heists, or become James Bond, your game is boring. So this person is correct at the end.
But also, again,
right.
It's too one-sided.
Yeah, but like, I don't know how I feel about this
It's
comment.
kind of reasonable, though. It's still reasonable.
Yeah, no, he makes a good point. But again, he thinks I hate it.
Yes.
Like, he thinks I hate it, which
comes from
I don't.
From the wrong place, yeah.
And it's coming from, but I do agree with him, and I would like to see like a more in-depth system where you can actually like rebel against the system and not just get punished by 7 days in prison, which is 7 made-up days, which just passes immediately.
Yeah, I think you could, if you had proper, actual like flowchart storylines where you can actually become an outcast, and you don't even have a ship anymore. You actually have to spend time being like on the streets of whatever city you've committed the crimes on. You know what I mean? You have to build your way back up, and you could have so much more interesting storylines.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, they might have statistics on how people play their games and what choices people make, and you don't want to invest. You don't want to invest in content in an area that no one's going to play as well.
Yeah.
But to counter that, the whole point of the game is there's all these different stuff you can do that maybe a lot of people don't do, and that's what makes it so good. So I kind of disagree at the same time. I think they could do that.
It's a difficult thing, and if it was my 600 million on the line, I would probably go for the safe option as well, because it's 600 million. I don't want to fucking lose my money.
Right, and that's the worst part, is that they did go for the safe option. They claim that it's next gen, it's the best thing ever, and then, you know, it's not. Yeah. It's actually underwhelming. It's actually worse quality in a lot of ways.
It is definitely not next gen. It is definitely not. It feels like a really, really well done PS4 game.
Yeah.
It genuinely doesn't feel like a next gen game. Like, there is objectively nothing that Fallout 4 didn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, space travel, but the space travel is just fucking cutscenes and loading screens. So, did you really do space travel? You didn't really. And all the planets are dead, absolutely.
And you don't even
dead
get the
and
illusion
boring.
that you're doing it either. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like. I just know, like, this is. I have no use of these planets. I've seen people talk about that there's a mechanic in the game where you can make your own settlement, but I've never. I mean, obviously, I haven't played all of the game. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't know how you.
I feel
don't
like.
know why.
Yeah, I feel like you can continue to play, find more gems within the game, and be like, wow, that they did that one thing really good. That's a really cool idea, really cool story. But it doesn't change the overall.
Yeah.
The overall of the game.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
They've done such a good job at like the world building within the few settlements. Like, you can go to a dude who's a robotics specialist who is looking for an apprentice. You can join him and do stuff for him and be trained and gain like skills in robotics, and it's cool, like, because no one forced you to do that. You walked about, you heard someone say something, and it piqued your interest, so you were like, fuck it, I'll go do that.
Yeah,
that's fun. That's really good. That's really well done in this game and in the previous Bethesda games. And
it can make the environment feel more natural, just like, Red Dead has those kind of events. Although they're definitely more scripted, the event itself has been made with quality in mind. It's been hand-tailored by someone, so it still feels alive. It doesn't have to be like it. I think what it is, quantity over quality, perhaps. They've got a million planets with one alien, 2 types of bushes, a type of tree, no vehicles to get around, no points of interest to actually explore. Like,
yes.
I think they definitely should have not done that, and they should have made some kind of quality environment at least, just so you can feel what they want, what the vision is executed, like what they actually wanted us to experience, and just went and did it properly.
Agree. 100%.
Even if there's less,
maybe
it would hurt a bit less to the player playing.
I wouldn't notice it. No, I'm gonna say it. 90% of people won't notice it. If there was a less, who's gonna fucking sit there and explore 1 million planets who are all the same?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, when you get to the bottom of it, they're all the same.
Yeah.
There's a few that they've developed because they're in the main sort of areas, but like the others are really like, I can't. Maybe someone's gonna be role playing it as like a miner, so he's gonna mine all the minerals or whatever. Even then, you don't need more than 100 planets, which if you have 10 systems with 10 planets in each.
Why not just...
It
looks like they've just focused on the wrong thing, because they have the base part of like you said, just... Yeah, you could just go on some... I think you could even... use the environment in such a way that, so if you're playing in whatever city it is, whatever the first planet is, whatever, playing as a miner, you use the environment completely differently. You're walking in certain areas that you wouldn't be at certain times because of like your job schedule. You know what I mean? Like, you'd see the environment in a completely different way, and it can still be just one city, but you can use it in so many different ways. Like, it just, and how the people view you in that city, like how people interact with you would be completely different based on what you're doing as well. And it's still the same location, reused again and again, but it would feel different every time. Yeah,
and I am upset largely because this could have been so much better.
Yeah,
it could have been a 10 out of 10. It could have, and. You know what? It pisses me off because when Baldur's Gate came out, I don't know if you saw like all the little... I don't want to insult anyone, but like all the other developers who went on Twitter and were like, oh, I hate Baldur's Gate because now everyone's gonna expect the same quality from us. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's the most pathetic thing.
That is the dumbest thing I've heard in my entire life.
Wait, are they saying that Baldur's Gate is too good? So other
Yeah.
Yeah.
Developers were literally saying, I saw this one dude who went, do not expect any other game to be as good as Baldur's Gate because it's not possible.
It's the most pathetic statement.
But the studio that developed Baldur's Gate is an independent studio. You're a fucking AAA public company.
Yeah.
Right? Funded out the ass.
And look, even
The
the internal workings of the company in a AAA studio, even if they're bad, and obviously they're just speaking out of jealousy and they're upset and angry, and they rightly so, but yeah, it's the wrong thing to say. It's just the
fuck them. Fuck them. They don't listen. If you're not gonna, I cannot imagine a different industry where you can say, oh, you know what, that good product, yeah, don't expect the same from us.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're just gonna pump out shit. They pretty much
but
admit
in gaming
that what they do is shit.
Yeah, in gaming you can do that. That's the crazy thing.
It's insane, and people will still buy the next FIFA game.
Look, as long as Baldur's Gate got heavily, I think a lot of people bought it. I just think good. When it happens, it's a bit rare these days. But when there's a good TV show, for example, people like it and they support it. When there's a good game, people like it, people support it. When there's mediocre stuff, people like it, support it. But like, it's not really, less. But like when there's something good, I'd like to think that when it's genuinely good and quality, it will get the support it deserves.
Yeah,
and I think Baldur's Gate has, so that's good. I think that's great.
It has, and I'm really glad to see it. I still haven't played it, but I just haven't had the time. I really want to play it because from all the things I've seen, it's absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's so stupid. If you're a developer out there, if you listening are one of those developers that said, "Oh, don't expect the same thing from us," fuck you, fuck you, genuinely. Like, why would okay?
Why even be in this industry? Why even be in this industry if
yeah.
you're not going to try and push games to be the best they can be?
I get it. Like, developing games is hard, but if you're working for one of the big studios, they've got money to hire a few more developers to help out. That's the solution. Not saying, "Oh, don't expect the same from us because we just won't do it." Yeah. What? Are you fucking joking?
It's actually crazy the way you say it.
It is. You're actually admitting that everything you make is shit. Like, you just said everything we make is shit.
And you know what it is? That's the greatest compliment to Baldur's Gate, because this guy's a developer of games. He's like, this is actually so good, we can't do it. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah,
they're basically just saying, just play Baldur's Gate, disregard everything else because we're done.
We can't do it. Yeah. Someone said something like, this is off the top of my head, so I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like, Baldur's Gate is some Rockstar level shit, and we can't replicate anything like that. You have to be crazy, or they said something like, there's no way you can get the resources or whatever, but like,
they did it.
They did it, and they're an independent studio.
Yeah,
they did it fair and square. No one fucking. It's so frustrating, and I know that in those teams, there's people who are super passionate about making video games. People who sleep in the office, do 12, 13-hour shifts to do a good job. But, if the game designer says, "Oh, we just aren't gonna bother, we're just gonna pump out shit," then the people below him that are, executing whatever he's designing, why would they be bothered? Why would they care? If your boss is like, "Yeah, our company just kind of makes shit," you're not gonna have passion to create the best product. It's insane to me. No other company would be able to just say, "Yeah, we just won't bother."
It's nuts.
It's like Disney being like, "Oh, yeah, that movie you saw, that's too good. We can't make something like that. Don't expect it from us. Go somewhere else." What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. It's a brain dead take. and the fact that it comes from actual developers, they should be fired. You should be fired for your own good, because you're obviously not enjoying this job.
Yeah, it just shows someone's true colours, doesn't it? If you say something about it's just the same. You know, everyone. I'm guilty of it too. Like, you can either be jealous of someone's success, or you can be jealous and just you can just disregard it and just out of jealousy, you say, oh, you can just disregard someone's achievement, or you can actually just say, that's really good, that's actually inspired me.
Exactly, yeah.
And just appreciate someone else's success other than your own,
Yeah.
And that's the option, and they chose the other option. Unfortunately, when someone reads that, you should, the respect gets lost.
Yeah.
For the
gamers
individual.
literally accept just being spat in the face.
Yeah.
Like, gamers are genuinely acting like whores to the industry. No matter, like, the next Assassin's Creed could be absolute dog shit. Some people will still buy it. They'll be like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
FIFA. I mean, don't even get me started on FIFA. I don't get it. Why are people so obsessed with FIFA? Why do people like FIFA so much? Stop buying this game. It's actual shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this, but I think it was like last year when FIFA 22 came out. On the Switch store, they admitted that it's the same game as 21. Like, it was actually written. Wait, let me see what FIFA 22. Let me find it. Actually, I don't know what to search. Actually, get it up. But anyway, you find out yourself. But it was on the Switch store, and it basically said it's the same as 21. And people buy it, and then they buy microtransactions in this game.
Yeah, the developers.
Why do you do this to yourself? Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, buying skins, buying pay-to-win stuff, like, everyone's done it, but it's not good.
I think there's nothing wrong with it if the game is free. If the game
is good,
free,
or the game is good. Like, when, like, Monster Hunter, for example, for me, it's just that one game I can point to where they release a game, it's a finished product. Again, there can be, like, day one bugs and stuff, but the game is there, the performance is there, everything is there. It's a full game. They've worked hard on it. They release a quality product, and then they continue to update it for free with brand new content. And then they release microtransactions later down the road, just for skins in Monster Hunter. They've recently started doing that. And
yeah, but if they're gonna
but the game is good.
The game
like, you
and
pay,
update it, of course, yeah, they need some way of.
But that's the thing. But it just, when Monster Hunter releases, I get a real game. I get a full game. It's not half baked. It's a complete game. I get what I paid for. But every other time I buy a game, like, in the modern day, it's never finished. If you buy a game on release, it is not a finished game. It should be a finished game on the release of the game. But no one does that anymore. It's so strange.
It is actually crazy.
There is not a finished game. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I agree. It's absolutely insane that people just.
When
people
do
let
we get
that
a finished
happen.
game?
It's your fault for doing this, because if you keep buying these games and agreeing with whatever they're doing, they're just gonna keep doing it. So stop buying unfinished games.
I think just stop pre-ordering.
Oh yeah. Oh, pre-ordering is fucking retarded.
Yeah. I have pre-ordered just to get a game on CD keys. That I'm like, I'm gonna play this anyway. I'm gonna get it like 20 quid off on CD keys. I did that for Remnant 2, and that was a gamble. Yeah. That was a gamble. But once I activate DLSS on that game, the performance has been good, and I've really enjoyed that game. So I'll give it a pass, because I really have enjoyed Remnant 2 actually.
Is it good? I haven't played it.
I like it. Did you play Remnant 1? Did you play the first one?
No,
I didn't.
I haven't played the first one, no. But I have seen a few reviews on it randomly. Is it an RPG? Is that what it is?
is basically like a Souls-like dungeon game. So it's a third-person shooter. You do have a melee component to it, but you literally go through dungeons, get to a checkpoint, do a boss, and then you loot up as you go. The dungeons are randomly generated. I don't know how so in Remnant 2, but the dungeons are like basically pieces of a maze all put together, so it's different every time you play it for the most part, you know.
Right, yeah.
And then different loot can spawn in certain like reiterations of the game. I think Remnant 2 does it a bit different. Remnant 2 is a bit more complicated. There's a bunch of extra stuff that I haven't really seen, but it's just a very just easy... It's not easy actually because it's Souls-like, but it's just a casual... It's quite... the leveling up is quite casual. You just get more money and stuff. You just upgrade your guns as you go. But all round, it's just a nice, complete little package. So I do enjoy it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that little piece of positivity, I think we should end.
What is your final thoughts? Or what currently? How many hours have you played of Starfield? What is your current rating of the game?
Let me actually open the thing, tell you how many hours I've played.
Because maybe we can review this next week and we can see, what's going on. If you've even played, if your schedule isn't busy.
I've played 20 hours.
20 hours, yeah.
Well, 19 and a bit, but I like it. I like the game. It's really fun, and if you liked Skyrim, you should buy it, and you have the money, of course. You should buy it, and you should play it, and you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
But be careful. I mean, don't do what I did and just force yourself to play through. I guess this should be common knowledge. Maybe I'm just stupid, but don't. It's literally what I said in my video. So don't be like me and don't just stick through the entire thing just because you're hoping for a payoff. You shouldn't be playing something for 12 hours before it gets good. And enjoy the good parts of the game that are there immediately. The city building and all of that. The city building, what am I talking about? The settled bits.
Yeah.
Like the cities stuff. And stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really good. So, yeah, there's a lot of enjoyment to be there. I can easily see myself playing 100 hours of this game. It's like one of those games. I can easily see myself doing that. But yeah, all right. Should we end? I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, yes, good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.